split draw.
Fawaz now looking to apply the pressure. Tremendous counter from Bostan. Fawaz gets on the front foot once again.
That jab to the body key for Bostan.
Fawaz asking the question, where's your power, to Bostan?
I won the first time. I will win the second time.
Junaid, you cannot go past me.
I will see you soon.
Oh, you have no choice.
Yeah, and they saw each other soon. They certainly did. It was a really good fight in Sheffield. I was there. I was ringside working for DAZN. It was the rematch that we all wanted, and in the end, Bilal Fawaz, who I thought won the first fight, finally got the decision, winning the second fight. Although even the way in which the scorecards were read out, you could understand why Bilal thought, did he win? Did he not win? But the right man won. He's now the English 154-pound champion. 2 have become 4 in the studio, which is really good because I've got Steve Goodwin, promoter, to my right, and the great Bilal Fawaz, dressed up for the occasion. Look at this. Like, clearly, he should be hosting.
Sharp.
Yeah, sharp. Very, very sharp. Bilal, I'm so happy that we've got you for 2 segments here, because I think your story, and this is the reason I reached out to Xavier Miller. I was like, Xavier, I need to get Bilal on, because it isn't just the performance, it's your story as well, adversity, everything, your perseverance. I tried to say it on the broadcast, but I only had a couple of minutes to say it, so now we can really open the conversation up. Dude, what you've been through is, it's almost movie-like, isn't it? I mean, it's movie-like, and I feel like it was capped off perfectly with the English title, although I do think there's more to come, by the way. I really think you can go on and win a few more belts. But tell us a bit about your story. I know it's difficult because it's such a up and down story, and really and truly, we need you on for a week to get all of the story. But if you can give us a condensed version of what even the last 10 years have been like for you.
Wow. Thank you, everyone, for having me, man. It's amazing. This is an honor. Now, a summarization of what my 10 years have been was not being able to work and being the champion, amateur, ABA champion, boxed for England, being chosen for the Olympics, could not go. Frank Warren offered me contract. I couldn't sign it. So I saw everyone that I went to the Team GB with, Anthony Joshua, all of them. And I was left behind. I had to clean toilets. I lived on the streets. I couldn't work, so how could I provide? So knowing that I have the capacity to be great, but I cannot do nothing with it. Now, that, it doesn't hurt you physically. It hurts you deep in your soul, like really does. And most people cannot come back from that. What mattered for me is that the more pain I feel, the more I push further. I can't explain it. I'm wired differently. And my mom did things to me that a mother should never do to the son. My father was never there. And in some kind of twisted way, I can say that those events, those things that happened to me as a kid has shaped me to become and morphed me into the person that I am today.
What, like hardened you?
Yeah. I have an armor. I have a thick skin, and you can't penetrate me, man. I'm telling you.
I think what you went through as a young child and your journey to getting to where you are today, can only mold you as a person. Forget the boxing. We're talking about as a human now, because that makes or breaks you.
Right.
And I'm going to say this, right? Knowing your story, I go, that is 99% of people, of the population, would break off that. 100%. For you to come through that, you go, but then that character that's built within you, that soul within you, you now transfer into the boxing ring.
Yes.
We saw that on Saturday night against Junaid Bostan, and I said this to you. We was up there working, doing the commentary, and I said to Bilal, afterwards, we were in the hotel.
We were in the hotel.
I said, I was looking in your eyes, and speaking as an ex-fighter, I go looking, and I go, there's 3 or 4 times through that fight where I go, he could quite easily break. He got to the crossroads, and you go, if he chucks a right, he's done. But he went left every time. And he'd done that 3 or 4 times through the fight. And I go, that is the mark of a champion. You go, because, you could see he was soul searching in there. And you actually talk to yourself, don't you? Through those moments, you go, you've got to gear yourself up so you don't feel sorry for yourself. And that is not an easy thing to do. And this young man done it. And he showed the mark of a true champion. And I think that goes well before even you started boxing. Going right back to the early days, you know, through your life, your experiences.
Before boxing, I was a warrior. Before boxing, whatever I did, I made sure I was number one. Before boxing, like when I had a Game Boy, you know, have you heard of a Game Boy?
Yeah.
I'm not that old. I've got
Nice one. I like that. Okay, I had a Game Boy and I wanted money, so I invited all my friends. I gave them the Game Boy to play, and once they got addicted to it, I took it off them and I started charging them ₦1 per game. I used to
₦1 for those listeners, like Nigerian currency.
Yes.
Yeah.
₦1.
Yeah.
And I made money.
Yeah.
I made money from that Game Boy.
How much is that in UK currency?
Oh,
Well,
now it's,
Like are we talking pence?
yeah, we're talking pence.
Yeah.
Oh.
But this was like 30 years ago.
Right.
And when my mom went to the market to buy food and candles, because we have no electricity, right? Then the light gets cut off for 3 days, and eggs and sugars and whatever. I took one item of everything she bought and I hid it. Guess why?
What?
Because when all those items that she has in the house finishes, she has to send me or my brother to the shop to purchase one of those items. Oh, Bilal, there's no candle. Go buy one candle. So I sold her back the candle that that I took off her. So I took the candle and I kept it, and I said, I want to go to the shop. And I just took the candle. I took the money and gave her back her candle.
Steve, I want to bring you in. Obviously, you've known Bilal for a while. How difficult has it been to get to where we got to on Saturday, or even before that, where we got to at the Indigo in January, wasn't it? The Indigo. How difficult has that journey been?
It's difficult. I mean, I'm a manager that promotes, not a promoter that manages.
Yeah.
So Xavier brought Bilal to me when he was 4 wins and 1 loss. So at this point in his career, it's looking pretty desperate.
Yeah, 4 and 1. Yeah, you're looking
as you know, because he's had a reversal. It's not gone right. So, but Xavier knows me from many, many years ago. I've known Xavier now 16 years, and he knows what I can do. So I took Bilal. I said, right, what we're going to do first, we're going to get a couple of confidence boosters, get the numbers up. So a couple of confidence boosters got the numbers up. And I then thought, right, we're getting to the stage now where I can start pushing. I've got to push quick because of his age. I haven't got time to develop 15 fights. So I rang up Matchroom at the time, and it was Tom Dallas at the end of the phone. I said, Tom, I've got Bilal Fawaz.
Tom, wish he never took that call. Tom,
so he said,
I'm telling you, man,
no,
wish you never did that.
Yeah. Like, bye.
Bye.
Well, it was that because he said we don't need him. He's in the Who Needs Him club. He's too good. We're not going to put him in with any of our boxers. Steve, you've got to find another way. So I thought, okay, so you're not going to volunteer to help Bilal. I've got to force the issue. So I thought, right, we've got to go and get a title. So we go to the southern area. Nobody wants to box him. I then found somebody that would box him at a middleweight division.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So we went and won the southern area middleweight title.
Wait. Before you go, I had to drink 3 kilos of water in front of the
Just to get on the
just to
scales
get
and be
to
a
scale to be a middleweight. I'm telling you, I was drinking it in front of the people that were checking the weight. I didn't make it. They said, we're going to cancel the fight. I said, you give me 1 minute.
So he started drinking the water.
I was drinking water. I had a big belly after that. I'm telling you. And I jumped on the scale and they said, do you know people struggle to lose weight, and you are putting on weight.
So we managed to do that fight and he won it. Problem now though, still, Frank Warren, Matchroom, keep him well away. Don't ring us. We'll never ring you. We're still in the same boat. Now I then saw that Bostan was being manoeuvred through for an English title. So I thought, I want Bostan. So, but how do I get Bostan? So what I then did was I slipped in. I got him a final eliminator for the English, and we got somebody in. We paid them, and a big thanks to Dan Moriarty, which is one of Bilal's sponsors, who has been instrumental in this as well. And we then got him a final eliminator for the English. So we got that through before anybody was. We won that. Now we've got Bostan in our sights because they can't avoid. So now Matchroom have to do business, or they've got to send Bostan on a running trip away from Bilal. So now we force them. Yeah. Now they've got to do the fight. So it took a lot of manoeuvring, a lot of planning, and then we got Bostan. So that's how we ended up at Bostan in January. at the O2 Indigo.
The side of the sport that people don't see, don't understand. You know,
Yeah.
what goes on behind the scenes is just quite incredible, isn't it? Like, you know, with fights that are being made, you know, you're trying to maneuver a guy here and he becomes like Bilal here, the chairman of the Who Needs Him, Who Wants Him club. I don't want to fight him unless I absolutely have to. And you go, you know, that's where you need the good manager, need the good promoter.
Very quickly before we break, and we're going to pick this up after the break, is he still that, though? Because I said this, again, I made sure I said it on the broadcast. I think he's fantastic because he's got an energy. In the ring, he's electric. He does crazy stuff.
Yes.
He speaks well. The face-off was entertaining. Like, surely he's not in the Who Needs Him club. Surely it's now a case of who wants him. Like, everyone should want Bilal.
Right, so that's what we're working on. It's only a week since the fight. So what I tend to do is let things calm down. We've got people wanting to do a life, got producers coming to us wanting to do a documentary on his lifestyle. I've got somebody who works for one of the big channels wanting to do it. So we're working on that at the same time. Then there's a few things in the pipeline that I'll speak to Bilal about that I've got to work on in the next couple of weeks. So there's potentially some good things coming, but at the moment I can't say them because I'm in the middle of negotiating them.
I think when you win an English super welterweight title, you get this huge target on your back. So where you've gone from being the chairman of the Who Needs Him, Who Wants Him, now he's the champ, now he's the man, they all want him.
All right, I realise we've all got our promoters' hats on for Bilal now. Yeah, it's the job. Steve's doing a fantastic job, though. Steve Goodwin, who you guys heard before the break, got him at 4-1, and now here we are on the cusp of something big, hopefully, in 2026. All right, we were talking your story. What made you not give up? You know when it felt like you couldn't turn pro, when you had to turn that big money offer down from Frank Warren because you couldn't fight over here, because you weren't allowed to have a job, because you had to sign on at the immigration status every few weeks, and
Exactly.
you was going through that. What made you say, no, we're going to keep going? When, as Spence said, many would have said, okay, you know what, enough's enough. Maybe this dream of boxing's over.
You know when you're hungry, right? And you're starving, right? And if you don't eat, you will die, right? Okay, so what made me not give up is the moment I give up, I will starve. And I'm not just talking about food. I'm talking about glory, about the foresight that I saw for myself, who I proclaimed that I was going to become, who I saw myself in the future. Because trust me, I do see myself in the future, and I have painted a picture of who I will become. Now, if I had given up, that prophecy will never manifest itself. I mean, you will fail if you don't try. And that's it. And I'm hungry, and I'm not talking about food. And that's
Success.
glory, success, being able to go to the shop and buy food for my family and not worry that the bank is going to feel the pinch. I can tell you, there are certain things in life that having financial support helps you achieve beautifully and comfortably, and you will be more happier. People say money don't buy you happiness. Those are the people that don't have the money. If you have the money, you will understand that it does help life become a little bit better. So if I give up, if you have given up, if anybody has given up, whatever they are looking for, it's done.
I think that was installed in you in an early life, though, wasn't it? We just got back from Nigeria, actually, and we see, you know, the hardship over there and how tough it actually is. And unless you actually visit these places and you see it on TV and you think, wow, yeah, that looks quite tough. But unless you actually visit these places, like we did, that, city that's floating on the water and just the poverty that is there, you go, that is hardship. And we know that you come from that background. And like you say, that is like to get yourself out of there.
Yes. And I didn't get out of
it's character on its own.
Exactly.
To end up where you are today, but to be doing what you're doing is just like, nothing but respect, because that is off the scale.
I didn't get out of there in a very dignified manner.
I know you didn't.
I was trafficked.
Yeah.
I am a refugee. I mean, I am a slave. I was put in a house doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. I ran away from the house. And I was 14 years old. I was crying on the streets, and somebody said, "Young man, what's going on?" Because I never looked like a beggar, and I didn't look like a drug kind of drugged up person. So I was a kid. And the man said, what's going on? I said, I don't want to go back to where I came from. He said, where did you come from? I said, I don't remember. I ran so far that even if I try to retrace my steps, I wouldn't. I haven't left the house in 3 months. So he took me to a building. The building was social services. And once I got into that social services, I became a number. F1062852. That's my number. And that was everything that I was until I was 33. Since I was 14 till I was 33, I wasn't allowed to work. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to go to university. And I've boxed for England. I was number 1 in the country. I was chosen to box for Great Britain. I even boxed for England against the country that they arrested me to deport me to. I wore England flag fighting against the country that I was locked up in the detention center twice. And I represented England. And nobody in the high authority could say, you know what, let's give this little kid an olive branch. He's done this for... I bled for this country. And they did that to me. And I still hold them at high regards.
It's emotional, isn't it?
Massive.
I honestly, I find it very emotional. This is why I wanted you to come on, because I do feel like this story needs to be told. Because when I saw your celebration when you got that title, it wasn't just for the title, which ultimately is a piece of rubber and metal.
It felt everything.
That's what I saw. It felt like it was for everything, Steve. He looks like he's 25, but age is against him when it comes to this sport, although he's in incredible shape. What does the next 12 to 18 months look like? Like, what's the dream here, Steve?
Well, the dream's to get higher and higher and higher and higher to the top, to as far as his undoubted ability will allow him to go. That's all we can do. So we've got to navigate certain hurdles and deal with, hopefully get the promoters on board, and then reach the height. But what we haven't got time for is defending titles. We need to move on higher level, move fast. He's got the ability. Let's see how far we can go.
Let me tell you one thing as well, Steve. You know, when you're talking about how high is the ceiling for Bilal, you know, where can he reach? What is it? Let me tell you that when you get to a certain level in this sport, whether that's European fringe world contender or whatever, the physicalities leave you through a fight, whether that's in round 7, 8, 9, and it's not about that. It then becomes a psychological battle. And it's about, you know where I'm going, it's mental strength. Because when you get into those rounds, when you get into 9, 10, 11, 12, and I've been in them rounds, and I know how dark they can be. We talked about this in the hotel, didn't we? I went, I understand that place. I go, and that takes something very, very strong, very character building. You got to be a certain individual. This kid has it. And so that gives him a chance at whatever level, because you can get the most stylish boxer in the world and he goes out there and he looks brilliant. We saw it, Jermaine Taylor against Cole Frotcher, when Cole Frotcher was getting his ass kicked, and he'd never lost hope, and he's got that toughness and that will to win. He's got that, by the way. And that quality there you can't install in someone, and that can take you right to the very, very top.
I'm also a showman.
That's the part. No, Bilal.
I'm also an entertainer.
Bilal, that's the big part for me. Like, obviously, Spencer's looking at it from an ex-boxer's point of view, and he's right, because I would never understand that having to dig deep in a fight. I mean, please, Lord, never.
Yeah.
But the showbiz side,
yes.
That when I saw your first face-off with Junaid, I was like, because I think Junaid's a bit like that, and I was like, whoa. Junaid's being out showbizzed here.
Yes.
I was like, oh, what's going on here?
What's going on? Who's this guy talking like that?
And then you were saying you were going to do this and do that in the ring. And I was like, okay, let me watch this guy. He's talking the talk. And then when you started doing it, I was like, this is crazy. But then when you got hit hard, I think it might have been round 4 or 5. And as Spence said, you had to dig and find something. I was like, okay, let's see if he can do that part as well. And then when you won the championship rounds, I was like, that's the whole package for me. That's the whole package for me.
Listen, you love the showbiz. I love the boxer side of it. You go,
I have both of them.
When you got both ingredients, that makes a beautiful cake.
Wait, what about the chin? I also have a chin.
You have a chin. Sorry, you have a
what
chin.
about a chin?
You have a chin.
Let's
as well.
include the chin into that. My characteristics of my attributes is unmatched.
What do you want, Bilal? I feel like we all 3 of us on this side kind of know what we want for you, which is ultimately really to earn some money out of this sport that you've been doing since you were knee high. What do you want next? Like, what's your plan for the next 12 months?
I want help. I want someone to help me, genuinely help me, and not just condemn me because I'm 37 years old. I need help.
You need opportunity.
I need opportunity. I'm Imagine running a race and you have 10 laps, right? And you've run 9 laps. I have this 10 laps of my life remain, and this is my last lap. I need help. I need opportunity. And the thing is, when you put me in a stage or in a ring, I entertain. I make sure that you enjoy what I'm performing. People messaged me and said, Bilal, I've watched boxing for a while, and this is by far the best fight I've seen in a long, long time. And not just one person. That's one part. I also have a good chin. I'm also relentless. I'm also marketable. I'm a brand. You put me in a suit or any brand or any kind of company, I am good to represent them. I carry myself with dignity. Also, you say I'm a good fighter. You say I'm this. We say I'm that. I'm the British champion. But that is nothing if I never get the next opportunity to fight for anything else, if nobody gives it to me. So I might be the champion, which I am now. But what happened next is if nobody gives me the chance, my dream dies. And this little boy that was running around wishing he can be great, everything dies with that kid. And that kid is still screaming for help. I need opportunity. If anybody that has a platform, Matchroom, Turkey, Queensbury, put me in front of a fighter, and I promise you, I will dig into the deepest part of my heart and fight. Give me that shot. Give me that chance.
Wow. So, anyone listening to that, if you do have the opportunity to give him a chance and listening to that and you still don't, then I guess, maybe you're not the person I thought, basically. But I'm sure you will get the opportunity. I'm convinced of it. And I think getting you on platforms like this, and I know Steve has great ideas for you in the next few weeks as well, I think people are going to hear the story and want to see you fulfill your destiny and have those chances. And look, again, I don't think they're doing it because, and this is the thing as well, Bilal, I don't think they're doing it because, Bilal's story is, I think they're doing it because they know you add value to a card. So for the other stuff is fantastic and your hardship's great, but I think removing all that, you're a great fighter, great character, a great look, and I think anyone would want that on a card. You'd want that on a card, wouldn't you?
Listen, we was up there last week in Sheffield, Dave Allen versus Makhmadov, and you looked at it and you go, like, who was the star of the show? It was this man to my left. He went there and he just, like, you go, you need something to remember. He was brilliant in the whole build-up. That was to the press conference, the weigh-in. Junaid played his part as well. But this young man here has that star quality. He's very charismatic, and that is important. If you're charismatic and you can fight and you got a huge backstory, I go, what more do you want? It's like tick, tick, tick.
How did it feel to walk out to 9,000 in there? Because we thought that atmosphere was incredible. What was it like for you? That would have been the biggest...
That's right. That's right. That's right. That is right. That is right. I left Sheffield with something I never came with.
Fans.
People messaged me and said, I love Junaid. Junaid is my boy, but trust me, you have a heart of a warrior. And the way they screamed after I won, and it touched my heart, man.
Yeah, the video's gone viral.
Look,
been surprised about the win.
I walked out the next day in London. I went to Costco to buy some food and stuff for the family, right? I got stopped in Costco 3 times to get a picture.
It's good, isn't it? It's good feeling.
Who am I? I'm a refugee. I'm an asylum seeker. How can that happen?
No. You're Bilal Fawaz.
I am Bilal Fawaz, and I tell you, if you have 2 legs and you have a heart and you have eyes and you have hands, you cannot forget your dreams. You cannot. You just have to just keep going, no matter how small the step is, because eventually you will look back and those small steps will accumulate into significant miles. You cannot forget. I'm telling you, since I was 17 years old, I started boxing at 17. And you know what I did? When I knew I couldn't box, when I won the 2012, I beat Ted Cheeseman. I beat all the kings. Everyone that they said, when I was boxing in the amateurs, right? And some kids saw me with their name match, right? Their parents pulled them out because of illness. They were not ill. They were just afraid that they were fighting me. Okay, so I started at 17, okay? Now, when that happened, and I got to 2012 and I was the champion and there's nothing else to win, gold medals, everything. Now, I had to box 1 year off, 1 year on because I didn't want to abuse my body. Because you can take so much hits, right? You know? So 1 year on, 1 year off. And I kept that going for as long as I could. And look what happened after all this time. Southern Area champion, the English champion. Look, right? We are co-headlining Matchroom events. Homie. How did that happen twice? And we're not, there are people that's been boxing for 20 years, 15 years, and they haven't got close to what we have done. We've came so far in a very short space of time.
And the chapters still to be written. I still feel like there's plenty more chapters in the book. Time is against us. I could speak to you guys both for hours, but we do have other guests. we have other guests.
Right.
Steve Goodwin, thank you very, very much. Bilal, thank you very, very much.
The pleasure is all ours.
We'll 100% get you on again, and hopefully once we do get you on again, it's to talk about another big fight. That's the dream.
Well,
that's the dream.
I promise you, that man over there, he has my life in his hands.
And so far, he's done quite well with it. Stick with us. Al Siesta from IBA Boxing is going to join us next.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.